Hey everyone, welcome back to BrickFair Virginia 2022. I'm Joshua Hanlon, and today I'm joined by three builders who are going to be taking us through their large medieval battle scene here. So if you want to introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about this battle.
Sure. I am Nate Zola.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Caleb.
And give us a brief history of what we're looking at here.
So this is the Battle of Castillon, which was fought on July 17th in 1453. It was fought in France, and it was the last battle of the 100 Years' War. So it actually won the war for the French. It wasn't the greatest battle or the biggest battle in the war, but basically the English forces under John Talbot, who is the guy on the horse right there, they charged this artillery encampment, as you can see in the corner, and they failed. They were repelled, and they were brought down the slope of the hill and were kind of destroyed and crushed. John Talbot himself was actually killed under his own horse next to his son. And yeah, that basically ended the 100 Years' War and solidified France as the main military power in the time.
Yeah.
So
This is a really interesting time period in history because throughout the 100 Years' War, you start to see things like artillery becoming more common on the battlefield. And so it's amazing how much warfare changed during this period.
yeah, we also have handgunners near the corner here, near the river. So we don't know how many there were actually, but they definitely had a few handgunners. We have about 3 cannon up on the hilltop. Where they had this fortification with, stakes and other defensive measures. They also brought some down from the hill. So we definitely wanted to add a few craters, but we also just wanted to show all the different stages of the battle. Try to show the melee, also just the troops in different formations and stuff like that. So,
Well, we can start diving into the build more here if you want to talk about your section.
All right, so I did the hill section over there, the little vineyard and the house. We didn't want it to be just a big green field, so we thought we were going to put a farm, a vineyard, some houses, a path, just to break it up, get some variation in the landscaping.
That hill work is fantastic there, so talk about kind of the pieces you used.
Most of it came together at the con, actually. It's a lot of slopes, a lot of hinges underneath, a little bit on the corner. We used the net technique to get some nice curvature, and then all the areas we need to cover up with foliage, that's what we did.
There you go. And then what about the kind of landscaping and building there?
Yeah, we got a pond over there that has some cool techniques. That was by another member, Ethan Johnson, and he actually sponsored the build. He's the owner of K-Town Bricks, so a lot of the figs are from him as well.
So we can talk a little bit more about the minifigures now because that's kind of the focal point of the layout. It's just these incredible armies and very detailed armies you have here.
Yep, it's definitely a big mix of all the castle themes, really. A lot of Crusaders, Black Falcons from the fantasy area as well. But K-Town was a big help. All the custom stuff is from him. Yeah, he really helped it bring it all together, especially with the accuracy of the figures.
So let's move on to another collaborator. What did you work on here?
All right, so I kind of worked on like the center of the battlefield where all the troops were actually fighting. So it was a little flat, but I think that's justified for what we're trying to create here with the figures because those are pretty much, they are the scene. But like overall with the details of the collab, I think we did a good job. You have the flat portion. We have so many other different distinct details all around. Like you guys talked about the mountain over in the corner, the pond. We have 2 houses. We have this awesome field over here, and then the long stream. It's just a good combination of other natural details to really spruce up the build.
Yeah, and it really gives a nice kind of expansive feel to the battlefield as well, and you can imagine kind of the movements of the troops here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another one of my favorite features of this build is actually like the brick-built posable horses over there. Like they have hinges over, just on the legs. So we have one of the horses like running over one of the infantry, stepping on them. Another one's like rearing up, lifting up one of the English archers actually. So definitely adds some more detail.
So let's take a closer look at some of those minifigures. You mentioned the K-Town Bricks, right? Does a lot of that kind of custom medieval work, and there's some really fantastic stuff. So is that shields or weapons, armor? What type of custom stuff do you have in here?
Okay, so K-Town, they do print their own stuff. So that's going to be torsos and helmets, some of the armor. But they also actually custom mold some of their own weapons as well. And I think there should be some helmets coming soon at some point.
Yes, yep.
Yep. So I don't know how many elements that they brought themselves. Maybe about 20 or 30 figs from them themselves, and then we also brought some of our own because we are also big fans of his work. Yep.
And as you guys were mapping this out here, what was that sort of like collaboration and planning process like, and making sure that you would have space for all the soldiers to be laid out correctly? How did that work?
So we started working on the layout like right after BrickFair last year, so it's been in the works for a while. And once we figured out what group we were going to do, like all the members, we tried to match up the plates with everyone's skill set so we could get the best out of everyone.
And was this all laid out here at the show for the first time, or did you kind of figured out the placement ahead of time?
Yeah, it came together for the first time at the show, yeah.
And then you mentioned the house and the field, so tell us a little bit more about kind of this section. Obviously, you need a ton of these tan pieces to make the wheat field.
Yeah, those Technic pieces for the wheat field, and we tried to do a nice texture on the roof there, the two different colors, the medium nougat and the dark orange, and lots of texture on the side as well.
I think there's about 5,000 parts total just in the wheat field alone. 2,000 of those Technic pins, 2,000 bars, and about 1,000 of the 1x2 plates with the holes in them. So it doesn't look like it, but yeah, it's 5,000 parts right there.
Do you have any idea how many parts total or how many minifigures are on the layout?
Personally, I know that I built these back 6 plates here, and I would say around 20,000 parts, honestly, with all the little studs that I used underneath the water to try and get the rocks and other techniques underneath the water there. But overall, can't say for sure, probably around 100,000 pieces total, and we have about 500 figures, I'd say, and a lot of custom figures in there too. So.
Yeah, that's incredible work, and I even like the building, kind of the architecture here. Like you guys said, it just kind of adds something else to the landscape as well. That roof technique works very well, kind of the plates and tiles in there.
Yeah, totally.
Very nice work, and congratulations on the award as well. So you won Best Battle Scene, which BrickFair Virginia has a lot of fantastic battle scenes at it. So that's a very impressive award to win here. When you got this all to the show, what was that kind of like setup like? Did everything come together pretty smoothly?
So when we got to the show, actually, we had a table that was about half an inch higher than the rest. So we had to go around to some of the other tables and try to find one. Across from us, we had the train display. We grabbed one of theirs, and they weren't too happy about that. So we actually had to go over to the TikToker section to find this little side table on the end. And it lined up pretty well. We have some gaps here and there, but overall, it's pretty good.
And going back to kind of the historical perspective on this battle, how did you guys decide to depict kind of this time period in this battle? Because you see a ton of like World War II, World War I, Cold War era stuff, but this is much less represented.
Yeah, so Xander actually came up with the battle. We were both actually trying to collaborate and do something really large scale because we had seen that there have been so many really large scale battles in the past and they look really good. They haven't really been here that often since. So we definitely wanted to do something that wasn't World War I or World War II and try to stand out in that way. So we picked the Battle of Castillon because it was the end of a very large war that was 100 years long. A lot of people know about it in Europe. So we thought that it would be pretty recognizable. And we could use all these different kinds of figures that LEGO has already made. So, we also really wanted to incorporate the new, use of artillery and handgunners and stuff like that. Just kind of show the turn of the century and all these new military techniques and tactics that were kind of coming into the age. So,
what are the historical records like for this battle in particular in terms of finding sources and troop movements, that sort of thing, for setting this up?
So we didn't do as much research with the troop movements themselves, other than just the assault by the English. The best record is probably of how John Talbot was killed. We did use a video by Kings and Generals, which kind of depicted the whole battle. So we do have the accurate cavalry coming from the east of the hill. We do have the Le Dois stream right here, which probably would have been a little bit further away realistically. But then for the house and all the other stuff, maybe a little bit of creative liberty, but realistically, there definitely could have been farmhouses there. So we wanted to portray that it wasn't just a green field in the middle of nowhere. There were probably people living there. And it was near the town of Castillon, so it was a French-held town, and then they had this artillery encampment. So we really just wanted to show that there's a lot of different stuff in France. It wasn't just like a bunch of different green fields. There's a lot of different techniques we have for foliage and stuff like that. And I personally love the houses a lot. I think that the architecture is really unique, and it kind of stands out and shows the different architecture of the time. So yeah.
You guys have this great technique you use, kind of stacking heavily those leaves on top of each other to create that really thick kind of tree effect.
Yeah. So that was kind of last minute. I built the forest here, but I didn't really have all the leaves to kind of fill it up. So we had Hunter who put all the leaves together and some of the trees together, and we just shoved it in there, and I think it looks really good. It makes it look like it's a really dense forest that would be pretty hard for troops to get through. So that's kind of why there's no troops over here. It wouldn't really make sense, especially to have them try to go through the forest. So, yeah.
Well, fantastic work. Thank you to all three of you for all the work you put in here and taking us through the build. I appreciate it.